Hi, thanks for joining us today on Real Estate Insiders TV. I'm Danny Poulos with the elite team at Blue Chip Lending, and our guest is Deith. He's a business broker and commercial realtor with Sunbelt Business Brokerage, and he's been a local business person and had some landmark businesses in our area, so we're going to have an interesting discussion coming up. So David, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll get right into it.
Great, Danny. Thanks. My name is Deith, and I am doing business sales at the present time, along with commercial real estate. I started back in 1986 at 18 years old. I opened up a hand wash up in North Palm Beach, and we ran that till 27 years. And in the interim of that, we also opened up several different types of businesses, pizzerias, nightclub, restaurant, mobile trucks.
And that was all going on while you were running the car wash?
Everything, all in that 27-year period.
I didn't realize when you told me before that you were 18 years old when you started that.
I was 18 years old. I actually started in Fort Lauderdale. My first deal, I bought a car wash for $10, and 30 days later I ended up selling it for $250,000 just by chance. So,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I want to be... Yeah, I want you as my business broker. I want to buy me that kind of deal. So when we're talking about business brokering, there's two sides, I guess. You're dealing with people who have a business that might be thinking about selling it, and then also someone who wants to invest in a business, maybe as an owner-operator or as an investor. So we're gonna hit both sides of those. How do you think, though, that your business experience has affected the way you approach your business brokerage business?
Oh, it's everything. Being in business obviously gives me all the tools to know exactly what business owners are going to look for on both sides of the coin. I've bought and sold businesses, so it gives me the insight to be able to give all my expertise to helping sellers and buyers.
So you don't really have to have the particular experience of the type of businesses that you're buying and selling.
No,
I mean, just
absolutely.
businesses are what you've told me.
Correct, absolutely correct. The only thing that changes in business are the zeros. Whether you're operating a yogurt shop, a car wash, or you're operating a multi-million-dollar business, it's all business. And for me, I enjoy doing it all,
right,
and have the capability.
And of course, you're coming from the side of a successful business person, so you got experience behind you that can show people how it's done and how it's properly done,
correct,
and how to be prepared for either buying or selling.
Correct.
So let's start with sellers. What's the most important thing for a seller to have on hand before they get ready to sell their business?
Well, the most important thing for a business owner to know is to make sure that you have your books and your records in place. It is imperative, in order to sell your business, you must have good records. I find 90% of the businesses out there do not keep good records. They don't. It's amazing. They work 60, 80 hours a week, and they are in their business 3 to 5, 10 years, and at the end of the day, they just don't have the proper documentation to prove their dollars that they're earning. And when you're going to sell a business, a buyer wants to see numbers, because obviously they don't lie. So if you're going to want to buy a business for $500,000, most of the time buyers are going to want to get that money back within a short period of time.
I just thought of something while you were saying that. Are most people that are in business, are they there with the intent of selling it someday, or are they just working and that's the way of making a living and they're going to retire? Or do they actually plan on the day when they're going to sell their business?
Crazy to say that I find that most people who are in business are actually own businesses to make a living, and they don't really think about the future.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
As much as they really should, because obviously at the end of the day you want to have an annuity. You want to have basically something that's going to pay you back for all your time and your investment. And at the end of the day, it's very, very important to make sure your books and records are in place.
So would you normally get involved with someone a year before they're thinking of selling their business, 6 months, or when the idea pops into their head that someday, I mean, when would you normally find yourself involved with a seller?
Danny, one of the reasons I got into business sales is because I really enjoy giving. And one of the things with business owners, sometimes they get into a business and they've invested their life savings, and they might want to get out immediately because it's something that they're in over their head with. and or they've been in it for 25 years and they've invested all this time and energy and they're ready to retire. So there is really no specific time on when to get in and out. It's just timing is everything, obviously, and it just has to be the right time for you.
So if you've got enough time, though, I would expect that you'd be able to show the seller how to optimize the value of their business before you go ahead and try to sell it. Do you ever get businesses that aren't doing that well, that maybe could be, there's ways that they could be doing better before they put themselves on the marketplace?
Well, you know, what I'm getting into now is doing some consulting, and also we have investors that we might happen to see your business and see some of the things that you're not doing correctly, and we might make an offer on your business to possibly buy it and possibly flip it and make some minor changes. So it all depends on where you're at in your business and where you are in your life. And we're here to help. That's definitely.
So if I heard you right, so you're also looking for opportunities where someone may just want out, but you've got business experts that come in and raise the value of the business, maybe by making changes in how the business is run, and then you're selling it.
Oh yeah. You know, what I like to do is help the business owner first. We're not really looking to take over people's businesses.
Right.
But if that seller is ready to move on and has just lost that passion for that business, then I'm there to possibly help them and or my investors to possibly take that business and maybe possibly move them into something else and or move on.
Right. I mean, you're seeing the potential of the business, so it's a win for everybody.
It's definitely
it may not be a very, very, very successful business, but if you see the potential, you're still getting enough money for the seller to get out and be happy.
You know, being in business is not easy, and it's very difficult. That's why most of them fail. And I have a major passion for business owners. Being in business all my life, I really enjoy the helping and giving back. And there are many small businesses out there that have the potential to grow, but sometimes some of the things are so close to their face that they don't see.
Right.
And sometimes it's good for me to come in there and look at that.
Before we get into the buying side, what's one of the most important things for the sellers when they're dealing with a business broker?
Confidentiality. It is number one. Confidentiality is the most important thing. Whatever we learn about your business, if we list your business, it is 100% confidential. So that is...
I would expect that's really important to someone that's got their heart and soul in a business, and they don't want their whole business out on the street there.
Absolutely. God forbid you have all your employees. I've never seen where they ever find that your business is out there. We don't list it, your name of the business, and sometimes we'll even list it in a different county, just so that if the business is large enough to where somebody might pick up on it.
Right. All right, so let's switch to the buyer side. Who's your typical client that's coming in interested in investing in a business?
Well, buyers are what I'm finding are a lot of folks coming from up north, northeast, that have purchased a business from up north, or sold their business from up north, and are moving down here and want to start a new beginning in Florida. And obviously, being the fourth largest state now in the country, we're inundated with buyers. But it's very important for a buyer to know and what to look for. Most of the time, they don't want to get back into the same business. They want to do something. Yeah, they like to do something different. So I always go to, and I ask them the simple question: is what are your passions? What is it that you love to do? And from that, I try to ask the right questions so that we can possibly find them that right business for their future.
That's so interesting. I never would have expected for you to say that they're looking for a different business than one they've been in and sold. You think they'd be so comfortable and that they know how to run it that they would want to get back into the same thing. But as you say, business is business. So once you know what they may be most interested in, you'll gear them towards the opportunities that are available.
Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of business owners like to stick with what they know. But there's also that other side where, like for myself, being in the car wash business for 27 years, I wanted a whole new beginning.
Right.
I really enjoy the challenge of business in general. I like to take things that are obviously tough and make something happen. Being in the car, starting a hand wash in 1986 when nobody knew what a hand wash was, and now to see so many hand washes out there.
Right.
So business is all about a challenge.
Now, do you find that most of the people are coming in because they want to be owner-operators and do the hour-by-hour, day-by-day work, or do you also deal with investors that just want to be part of a business that they can invest in and get a return on and maybe improve and work on.
Right. Danny, one of the funniest things most buyers, they all say, well, I'd like to get into something that I don't have to work too hard at, and the business is operating, and I tell them straight up, if you're not willing to work at the business as hard as you worked at your last business, then maybe business isn't for you today.
Right.
You must operate the business, and you must take your skill set and make it happen and grow that business to the next level. And hopefully I'm there to help you to do that.
Yeah, and that's why you're making the important step of finding out what's going to be, what they're passionate about, what they're interested in.
Correct.
Before you throw them into something. And I think really we both know that that's the key to success, is enjoying what you're doing,
Yeah.
loving what you're doing, and not, I mean, everybody works to make a living, but if you're not thinking about the money and you're just doing what you love, I think most people in the business world out there would agree that the money comes, and you're a perfect example of it, as successful as you've been. So, tell everybody how they can reach you if they're interested in buying, selling, or just some advice on how to prepare themselves for buying and selling a business.
Wonderful. My name is David Deith, and best way to reach me is on my cell phone, which is area code 305-967-3340. And I work with Sunbelt Business Brokerage in Palm Beach Gardens. And my email is David Deith, D-E-I-T-H, at sunbeltnetwork.com. And you can either email me or call me. My phone is on 24/7. I live to work, so and I'm here to help you. Anytime you need me, I'm here.
Thanks so much, David. Great advice.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.